Still ahead, northern students get some southern exposure. We'll show you how big city looks through the eyes of small town kids next on the National. A group of grade 5 students from Nunavut is exploring big city life this week, amazed by things many of us take for granted. For most of the students, this is the first trip out of their tiny home community. Shauna Reed caught up with them as they took in the sights and sounds of Toronto.
Who would think taking an escalator would be an adventure? But that's just the start of the wonders these grade 5 students from Nunavut are experiencing.
So big and different.
Toronto is a whole new world.
It's big and lots of people.
Most of the students have never left Hall Beach. The small settlement of just over 700 people is a 2-hour flight north of Iqaluit. Then a plane to Ottawa and a drive to Toronto. For the students, everything is new. Even trees, something they've never seen before.
They've had their shoes off, running in the grass, running in the sand. Those things were all brand new for them. Touching the tree bark. The squirrels are fascinating for them.
The idea for the trip came up last fall.
I said, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? And they said Toronto.
So they got to work. The school launched an Indiegogo campaign online, and they fundraised money through bake sales and bingo nights. They managed to raise $33,000 for the 12-day trip.
Before they came, they had to learn how to cross a busy street. Everything is new.
I always wanted to go swimming.
What did you see at the zoo?
Rhino, panda.
The kids even took time to share some of their world with me. The Science Center had the kids in awe again. Their teacher hopes the trip will inspire them.
It's just to give them a broader perspective and a bigger view of the world.
To actually see their eyes and hear everything that we would take for granted. To them, it's just overpowering stimulation.
The school is hoping they'll be able to do this trip again with another group of students in the future. Shauna Reed, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, for a look at your weekend forecast, joining us is Colette Kennedy at the CBC News Weather Center. So, Colette, among the many differences between Hall Beach and Toronto, certainly the weather, a big one, right?
Absolutely it is, and I thought that in honor of our special guest here in Toronto, we'd kind of have a look at that comparison of the weather. So, for example, unofficial high, but for Toronto, 20 degrees with some variable cloudiness, more sun early in the day and then the clouds rolling in, and yes, breezy. But come on, a pretty nice day. And for Sunday, some clouds moving in, 22. Now remember those numbers, 20 and 22, because let's see how far to the north we have to go. This is where they've come from. They've come almost 3,000 kilometers to visit us here in Toronto. And let's look at what their weather, well, unofficially for them today, -4 back home. And yes, it felt like -9, and last night was -17, and it felt like -27. And for tomorrow, well, it's going to be a warm-up for Mother's Day there in Hall Beach, up to the freezing mark. So I hope they are enjoying the weather here, and I love that they're just experiencing the trees and squirrels and loving that. And Toronto, so big, so many people. Yeah, it is. Here's a look at your Mother's Day forecast.